You wanna learn how to edit your pictures and get results like this? Well, then you have come to the right website. First step, download Photoshop. Second step is to take some pictures you can use on your own, but make sure to get multiple since you wanna layer and use elements from both. If you wanna follow me, you can also download the pictures and overlays I have used. Link in the description. Now, just follow the video and you'll be on your way. If you find the video difficult to follow or not explaining the stuff done thoroughly, there is a full video of my editing process in the link that you can follow step by step. It's long though, and there's no guidance in it. So, in order to edit like AWGE, there's a couple key things you gotta do. First one being crop and resize small parts of your picture. Use the rectangle tool and mark a place. Once that's done, right click and press layer by copy. Don't move the piece around or anything, just scale up or down. Do this a couple times until you're happy with the result. Also remember to always press the original layer again after having pressed layer by copy. If you can't layer by copy anytime in this process, right click the layer you have marked and press rasterize layer or smart object. Second, you gotta go to the original layer, aka the picture you want to edit. Drag that to the top so you can see it and not the small crops and resizes you have made. Then use the quick selection tool and draw across your character until he's fully selected. If it selects any wrong parts, just use the quick selection with a minus besides, then paint away what you didn't want to select. And then use the plus selection tool if you have to reselect anything. Then right mouse click, select and mask, then drag smooth up until it's not rigid anymore, and thereafter turn contrast up to something like 50. Press OK and copy via layer. Now hold Ctrl and press original layer, and the new selection of your character and drag down to the bottom again. Remember to keep the mask of your character just over the original layer. Name any layer if it gets too convoluted for you to keep up. It doesn't for me, so I didn't. Third thing is you're now gonna do the same thing as in the start, but on your character. Here you can also do smaller or wider or taller selections. And you can even hold shift down, drag in any direction, and it would look like some piece of your character smoothly drags out like a glitch or something. Do this until you're happy as well. Fourth thing, and most likely also the hardest of all, here you're gonna have to incorporate your other photos. You don't have to use others, but I'd advise it since it looks dope. Cut out parts of your other pictures, ideally places where they can line up with the picture or character you have under. Sometimes you maybe want to put something under your character, like I do in mine, so just crop out what you want, like we talked about with quick selection, or for more rough and collage type cutout, use the polygon lasso. Press layer by copy or cut so you just can delete what you don't want to use. Then cut out the part of your main character you want this to be under. In mine, his arm. Select and mask, smooth and contrast, layer by copy. Then in the layer panel, drag your cutout under the part of what you want it to be behind. I know the layer panel can get really messy quick to look at, but just try and keep your head together. Mask and cut, and rearrange and rearrange and rearrange, until you got it layered the way you like. Luckily these edits are messy to look at, so hopefully you can get away with the wrong layering and stuff you didn't intend on. I usually find random stuff that just looks good while rearranging. Now mine is done. If there's anything from the original layer that's hidden but you want it to show off, you can go down to the original layer, mask it and layer by copy, and put it on top of everything else like I did with the chain. Now to the fifth and soon last part. Click the top layer, hold shift, scroll down to the bottom and press the bottom layer. Then hold alt, you can release shift by the way, and hold down left click on your mouse and drag it all the way to the top and release. Then right click, press merge layers. If you can't, it's because you haven't rasterized, so quickly press rasterize, then right click and merge. Now you can take all the layers below and put it in a group. Now you can always change something in the picture if you found anything you didn't like. But ideally you have the top layer, which is the almost finished one. Hide the group under by pressing the I. Now for the last crops and resizes. You take the top layer, use rectangle tool and do exactly like in the start. After you layered by copy, you hold down Ctrl and press on one of the white boxes that outlines your layer. While holding down Ctrl, you can drag the picture in any way you want and change the perspective of your small crops, which adds some interesting dynamics in the depth of the picture. In some of your crops you can also go up into filters, put on something weird or distort, shear something or maybe even liquefy some. In liquefy you can drag and smear out parts of the picture the way you want to. Once this is done, it's time for the presentation. Again, mark all visible layers, hold Alt and then duplicate, and then merge and hide all layers below. Now go into Filter, Camera Raw Filter, Profile Color and Browse. I'd recommend using anything in the vintage section, but use the one you like the most and press OK. After this, go up into Filter again, Noise and then turn Noise up until you find something you like. Monochrome can also look good on it, especially for ones trying to emulate film. Now duplicate your layer, double click it and unmark the B. Press OK and use your arrows on your keyboard. Press to the left or the right until there's a very subtle blue and yellow color separation. Drag this one down under the layer you haven't touched and set the untouched layer who lays on top to saturation in the blending mode, or where it says normal. Now I'd like to add some vibrance. You can do this by pressing the white and dark circle in the bottom of the layer panel. Press vibrance and turn it up. I like turning it up a lot because I love color. Thereafter, as the last thing, find a paper texture overlay, drag it on top of all your layers and change blend mode to screen, which usually looks the best. And boom, there you have it, how to edit like AWGE. So, I just made a quick bonus for you that you can do as well. Find a background picture, then import your other pictures and place them upon your background. Move them around until you're happy with the result, and then rotate them a bit to make them look more natural. Then find a picture of tape, import it, cut out the tape in pieces, place them upon the pictures, change the blend mode to something you like, and do that to all the photos. Thereafter you can place upon a paper overlay, then you can drag in some logos. You can paint upon the logos to make them look more natural, like you've scratched it upon your piece of work. Then draw upon the other pictures to make it look like it's more custom. After that you can put in some other photos. I put in some butterflies, then use the polygon tool, cut them out so it looks like they've been cut out with a scissor and placed upon the pictures. Then you can add a drop shadow, a white drop shadow, just very small to make it look like real photos that have been printed out instead of digital.